Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. During the last 24 hours, the military actions between the terrorists and the forces of ATO near Debaltseve continued. And in the nearby settlements, the militants are trying to surround the units of the armed forces of Ukraine and other law enforcement bodies, despite constant shellings and attacks by illegal armed groups. Debaltseve is still under the control of Ukrainian military. During 24 hours after mass shellings, the terrorists were assaulting the checkpoints near Шуми, Санжарівка, Комуна, Рідка Дуб, Станиця Луганська, Чорнухина. All attacks of the terrorists are repelled. The militants were trying to seize the checkpoint of Ukrainian military in the vicinity of Fashivka settlement. Our military started firing back near 1 o'clock at night. The reconnaissance group of terrorists was trying to assault the checkpoint near Stanitsa Luganska. Thanks to the coordinated actions between the units and thanks to the effective use of our artillery, use of all the firing means, this attack was also repelled. The militants had to withdraw to their positions and left the killed and wounded people in the field of battle. And the result of the actions of the armed forces of Ukraine in reply to the shellings of the groups of militants and armed forces of Russian Federation near Popasna, Debaltseve, Vuglogirsk, and other settlements, we register big losses among militants of so-called DNR and LNR, Kazakhs, Russian mercenaries, and Russian military, and also the military equipment of the enemy. That leads to mass leaving by them of the illegal armed groups. According to the operational data, the withdrawal of militants from Vuglogirsk was detained by the division of the interior troops of the Ministry of Armed Forces of Russian Federation. During the last 24 hours, and the result of active military actions, 5 our servicemen were killed and 27 were wounded. And because of the big losses in the illegal armed forces, the militants are trying to organize the so-called mobilization, but they are faced with the opposition of the citizens of occupied territories. The militants threaten that they will start exercising acts of terrorism. In Rovinki, the leadership of so-called commanders headquarters, they threaten those who do not want to join the illegal armed forces that they will shoot them. In the result of shellings by militants, the following settlements are disconnected from gas supply: Chernuhina, Popasnansky, Popasna, Kryakivka, Sakilniki, Trokhizbenka, and so on. Yesterday, the pro-Russian mercenaries were shelling from Grad systems in the direction of control point Mykolaiivka, which is at the road Gorlivka-Artemivsk. The shells were exploding near the checkpoint. No one of the military and civilians was wounded or killed. Because of these shellings from Grads, we temporarily closed the passing via control points Kurakhov and Georgievka. At the administrative line with the temporarily occupied Crimea near Strelkova, the Ukrainian border guards registered the 2 drones. All over Ukraine, we continue the measures on strengthening the security. At the entrance to Kiev, we will reinforce 8 checkpoints where they will check the cars. In the capital, the protection of all important facilities is strengthened, and the special operational headquarters is created, and the system of civil defense is now in the state of enhanced readiness. Now in the capital, they check the status of all the facilities like underground crossings, parkings, and so on. Ukrainian special services eliminate the enemy diversive activists. Yesterday, the operation officers detained in Mariupol two combatants from the band of the so-called Chechen. One of them, Rusich, was organizer of mass disturbances in the city. The detained crime body of Rusich blocked and seized the buildings of the authorities and was instigating people to mass disturbances. He was also committing crimes against our citizens. Both terrorists were left by the leaders of bands in Mariupol to conduct clandestine training and execution of acts of terrorism. The counter-intelligence of the Security Service of Ukraine detained in the Donetsk region 6 bodies of terrorists who were collecting and transferring to the leaders of terrorists the information about the places of dislocation of the military units and relocation of the military equipment of the ATO forces, and they were correcting the fire at peaceful settlements, including the Baltseva and Volnovakha. Yesterday, the police operatives eliminated the grenades and ammunition from 28-year-old citizen of Odessa. They seized 18 grenades and also more than 2,000 cartridges to automatic weapons. Ukraine puts all the efforts to ensure that the IDPs have the accommodation. They can finish the works in the model camp for IDPs in Zaporizhia.
In transit town, there will be water, sewage, and also they will plug in modules to the electricity grid. Transit city is functioning in Kharkiv, and 6 more will function in Zaporizhia, Dnipropetrovsk, Dnipro-Dzerzhinsk, Nikopol, Kryvyi Rih, and Pavlograd. I would like to remind that those 11 modules were built and they were provided by the government of Germany. Residents of Donbass continue receiving humanitarian aid from Ukrainian government from abroad, and since 29 to 30th of January in Selidovo, Donetsk region, Czech charity organization People in Need, they provided humanitarian assistance to the most vulnerable people. IDPs received vouchers for food for the sum of 700 hryvnia. On the 31st of January to Dubai, so Ukrainian authorities delivered one more humanitarian cargo. Those included food and water. During the last several days, the city received more than 1,000 packs of kids' food, 70 kids with food, 105 kilograms of noodles, and 100 cans canned meat, and 400 liters of bottled water. On the same day, on Tuadev Kandebaltsevo, they delivered 14 generators, power generators, so that will improve the life of very important facilities in Avdiivka. The partially rebuilt water supply system. Ukrainian patriots continue supporting the defenders on the 2nd of February and as a part of action support Ukrainian army to the bank account of many MOD. From legal and physical entities, we received 154,269,000 hryvnia. Among them, in 2015, we received 988,000 hryvnia from general sum, that is for 41 million. Those are money transfer for material support and the rest for medical support of armed forces of Ukraine with the help of call center for 565 to support Ukraine armed forces. People transferred 330,000 hryvnia. There is the fourth wave of partial mobilization. As we received data, more than 50% of mobilized that were sent to training centers, and the plan of sending call-up papers, 95% of them was sent in Sumy to training centers of armed forces of Ukraine. 3 groups went, and more than 100 people, mostly men from 45 years old, who served in armed forces before. Also, military committees from Sumy, more than 150 volunteers asked them to include them. A lot of them are women, and that is needed to have not only physical health but also mental health. From in Zaporizhzhia, since the beginning of the first stage of the mobilization to training centers, we sent 9 teams of 800 military men who were called as during this mobilization. A lot of military volunteers come to military committees on their own. The majority of them have experience of military experience, and they are motivated, and also they go to defend Ukrainian people. Yesterday in Odessa, with the participation of the Minister of Defense, Stepan Politruk, and the Ambassador of Canada, Roman Vasyuk, there was a ceremony to hand over to Ukrainian military men humanitarian assistance from the government of Canada. The part of that assistance was already handed to our military men in the east of Ukraine, and a part will be sent by trucks in the near future. All the rest will be distributed, given for the needs of mobilized fourth mobilization staff. More than 70,000 boots were provided yesterday, and more than 30,000 uniforms. We rearm Ukrainian armed forces in New Petritsi. Representatives of military industry of the U.S. presented the defending module that can be used in ATO in order to defend the stuff from shelling. That module facility was tested, and it was shelled upon by tanks and artillery. That module will help to reduce losses by 30%. Very soon, Ukraine will receive the first shipment of those defending facilities, and also will improve the production of local analogs. And Ukrainian armed forces allow the first armed vehicle, Dozor B, which is produced by state concern Ukroboronprom. And the speed is 120 kilometers per hour, and it can it can drive for 700 kilometers, and also it is armed. Kevlar is used as a protection shield, and that vehicle is able to fight against people and also fire against targets. And it is in 2015, about 50 units of such vehicles will be produced, and we are talking about fire gun module on that vehicle. Ukrainian military men daily improve their professional skills. Military men who defend Mariupol from enemies, so they improve their professional skills during trainings on fire classes, and the general. It proves that defenders of Mariupol are ready to act quickly, and as a part of a new medical military doctrine, there's trainings for cadets on providing medical assistance in the battlefield. And one more course started on Agent Tomer Military University on communication, and it will last for 3 days. This is the fourth university which receives such courses, and say rescuers. As rescuers will have 3,000 officers, and they will train the cadets how to provide first aid, medical aid during the.
1+1 channel. What about Mariupol? People say that on local TV channels they talk about possible shellings. What does the intelligence say? We do have information that the enemy is near Novoazovsk and regularly is shelling, but they're not shelling at Mariupol, but at our positions. If you mean information work with the population, then on local TV channels and on radio, they disseminate information about what to do in case of possible shellings, and for that all possible shelters are checked where people can hide. Besides, they work on rapid evacuation of the population from dangerous regions if this happens. Another question? Channel 5, few questions, if I may. First, about Mariupol. Yesterday, about 8 p.m., the checkpoint was shelled near Schidny region. According to Azov regiment, there are no wounded people. What do you know about this shelling? Were some houses maybe destroyed? It's difficult to talk about one shelling out of 134, which we had yesterday. Thank God if they don't have any killed people or wounded. Could you tell us in more detail about the situation in Vuglegirsk? You were saying that the Russians were using so-called the barrier units, where they were forcing people to fight against Ukrainian army. Talking about the assault in the Baltseva direction, they prepared more than 3,000 militants and servicemen of the armed forces of Russian Federation. They had more than 36 of tanks, about 80 armored vehicles, many pieces of artillery. There were different types of artillery. According to operative data that we received, when there were attempts to assault Vuglegirsk, to attack Vuglegirsk, our artillery was working there as well. The military who were assaulting Vuglegirsk, just in front of the eyes of their militants, they were killed in the open space because we had the opportunity to shelter them. They left the settlements to the open area, and we started firing at them, and the panic that was created. And when many of these militants were killed and many pieces of the machinery were eliminated, they had to start withdrawal. But the Russian commandership prepared the unit of the interior forces from the division named after Dzerzhinsky in order to return them back and to by force return them to the front line to continue their assault. That is the fact. It was confirmed by people, including those who were detained after that battle. So we cannot remember of a case when they would have this barrier unit that would force people to go to the front line, especially the people from this Ulyanovsky brigade participated. Now you mentioned that there are significant losses um, on the Russian side. Can you at least approximately give us a figure? Because for a week there were battles going on there. It was impossible to stop the battle and to go and count. We have the data from different sources, intercepted data. We cannot give you exact numbers, but these are several hundreds of the killed militants and also several hundreds of wounded. We have the information that the hospitals and the are just full of wounded people, and there are plenty of dead bodies there. They don't have enough medicine. They're very nervous. And there's information that even our doctors suffer. There was a fact when one doctor was shot dead in Donetsk because he failed to provide the adequate assistance, as they believe, to the leader of the terrorists, Volodymyr. There are cases when the relatives of the imprisoned people go to ATO zone to liberate them, and they either disappear or they got captured themselves. Do you advise people to go there? How does it influence the official process, negotiation process about liberating the captured people? This topic is very sensitive, and this is what is widely used by those who want to earn money on that. They call the relatives and they say that we have your guy, come and take him, and the amount of money is such and such. People, they get money and they go there and they're trying to pay this ransom, but in fact they become prisoners themselves or captives themselves. Most of these phone calls are not true. And in order to understand whether the relative is in captivity or a friend is in captivity, you have to come with this information to the security service of Ukraine. There is a special department which registers such a statement, and they can immediately give you an answer whether this person is in captivity or not. At least they will start looking for this person, and this person will be included into the list that we give to the enemies, trying to exchange them for their captives. So we request people not to believe such conditions of the militants. Do not take money there. Do not get yourselves into captivity. You see that the process of exchange continues. We cannot say that it goes as fast as we would like, but it goes on, and we manage at least in small groups to get our guys from there. So first of all, go to the security service. One more question from one plus one. You mentioned that the local authorities of Rovinki is threatening those. It's not local authorities, so-called local authorities, are threatening people to shoot them if they do not agree to get mobilized. In our collab papers, it says that there will be a fine. What do they write? Are these rumors? That is the information. Those people who were taken to this point where the weapons was given to them, these people called, their neighbors called, and people are unhappy with that. They don't sell any collab papers. They don't have laws. They have their animal beast, the laws of beasts. Even it's much easier among the animals. They do it all without any laws. What do? They catch people in the streets. There are many methods. They can go by truck with the truck and just get people from the streets. We talked to the servicemen who are in Ritka Dub, that's 15th Battalion from Uzhgorod. They are not far from Nikishina. They say they have no weapons at all. They have nothing, and the commandership is just negotiating with someone, and they have no result. Do you know anything about this situation? I don't know, but I will clarify it. If this is so, then someone will be punished. Thank you for information. Any other questions, clarifications, information? No. Thank you, Mr. Lysenko. Thank you all. The next briefing of Colonel Lysenko tomorrow at 12.